everybody, welcome to iSlips Arcade. This is the wrong show. Let's try that again. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome to Review Time with iSlip. I am iSlip. Today we're going to be taking a look at Digital X. Well, it's DX9, which stands for Digital X-Doll 9. If you want to know what an X-Doll is, you look it up. It's actually sort of like an abbreviation for crystal. So this is Digital Crystal 9 Toys. Wow, Digital Crystal 9 Toys. And DX9 is actually pretty cool. It is their designation D14 Capone from their Menasor set, or Attila. And here it is with the extremely long box. This box is humongous. Let's see if I put something for size comparison. Here is MP10. Yes, I'm still rolling with MP10 because I'm not getting MP44. I don't see the need, and we're not going to go into that. So here we have DX9's Capone, their Motormaster. Their box is extremely long. Unfortunately for me, and the reason I say unfortunately is because I was hoping for a box that I could cut the front off and hang it up as a poster. And while that looks great, it's not big enough. Unless the picture wraps around. Okay, let's bring this a little bit closer. Take a closer look at the box now. The actual figure itself comes in. Well, hold on. First, it doesn't wrap around. There's a warnings. We have the schematic-y look that actually I think all the DX9 boxes have had at this point. So, inner dream, eternal hobby. You can act like a man. You can act like a man. I don't understand what that means, but hey. So the figure comes in this long clamshell, which is actually, I got it mixed match, but it was awesome. When I pulled it out, it looked amazing. I almost didn't want to take him out.
I think I already asked you, Pete, right? Did you get anything?
You did not?
Oh, let me see what you got, man.
I actually ordered this on the show the last time it was on, 2 weeks ago.
Whoa! Whoa!
Oh,
The DX9 Capone.
Dude.
Oh my god, this thing is so beautiful.
Oh my
wow, that
god.
That is long too, yeah.
You get your instruction booklet with the little card and this piece that will probably go to one of the combiners, or maybe all the guns combine into a super gun for Menasor. I don't know. There's nothing about it in the instruction booklet. Where are we gonna put this? Now, normally I get rid of the boxes, but this box, the presentation and with the way their Motormaster looked in it, it just was just too good to get rid of. So I'm going to stick it in my closet, so when I move again, which will of course happen because that's just what happens, I am forgetting what I was going to say. So there's their Motormaster. He is extremely long, and on video it looks a little weird. In hand, not so weird. It kind of, honestly, it reminds me of, like the longness of it reminds me kind of, you remember Knight Rider back in the day when the kid used to drive into the truck, and it looks like it's extra long because it's supposed to be like some kind of bay or whatever. And actually I've seen trucks that had trailers about this long, maybe not quite. In comparison, let's just bring this a little closer. I moved it out because it's really a long toy. This is the G1. Actually, honestly, it's a knockoff of the G1, but it's a pretty, like, it was a pretty nice knockoff, but everything's there. And honestly, the trailer part of this is only, compared to this, it's only slightly too long. The trailer should be roughly about twice the cab length. and it's twice the cab, like, so it should stop about at this scene here. So yeah, but it looks like it should. Let me turn this way, and there we've got the Minnesoters. Let's actually put this down here, and I can't lower my cam. Can I lower my camera? Yes, I can actually. All right, here we go. Lower my camera, and then we'll use the zoom function just a wee bit. So that looks pretty good. The only real complaint I have about the truck mode, aside from it being extra panely, but that comes into play, is I wish that they would have either stayed with the painted windows or stayed with the tinted windows. Either or would have been fine with me. Otherwise, it's pretty nice. It is pretty nice. Yeah, there's no chrome here, as opposed to on the original toy. There's chrome. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. See some sprue marks there, but again, still don't mind. Let's move this guy out of the way, and the trailer is extra long. We're gonna go ahead and pop the trailer off just so we can focus on the cab. We have to do this for transformation anyway. Give me a second to get this up. Come on, normally I don't need a little thing to make this come up. So you can see what I'm having. Actually, I should have just done this. Before I forget, a little bit of more transparency. When I got this and I pulled it out the box, there's a little screw. When I say little, I mean it's about maybe that long and about that thin. Is all that's holding the front of Motormaster, the top half of Motormaster, to the bottom half. So it was the hole itself was stripped. Come on. I knew I was gonna have an issue with you. Give me there we go. Pop that up. Open this up. We'll put this part to the side. Actually, let's look at the trailer real quick. So, I mean, it does look... Oh, let's zoom out. It does look pretty nice. It has these things which kind of mimic the look of, like, Optimus Prime's, where it swings out to hold the truck up. It doesn't do that. This does unfortunately not turn into a base mode for anything. It is just a trailer. The designs are pretty spot on to... Where did I put the other one? To the G1. The G1 is fairly... I mean, it doesn't have the extra lines. And, I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody will do an upgrade for that if you really want it. I don't really need it. I wish this would have been a more silver gray, but it's going for the cartoon look. This thing pulls off really nice, by the way. But, yeah, I mean, this is a pretty... It has a bunch of holes on top that I don't know what they're for. Like, I don't know what this is for. I don't know what that is for. I mean, unless it's to help pry it open, maybe. That could be. That's the only thing I can think of, because I don't see anything that comes with them that has these holes in them. But, yeah, otherwise, the back does open up. You can open up the back like a regular truck, but then there's nothing there, really. It's just that. So, that's that. It's got rubber tires, and that is what the underside looks like. I think there's supposed to be a way that you can store the gigantic sword that he comes with. By the way, he comes with a gigantic sword. For reference, here's MP10's truck mode. That's the gigantic Minosaur sword. He comes with it. That doesn't store anywhere. He also comes with this giant gun that turns into a beetle. And that could probably store using one of the many slots on the side of the truck. Actually, let's see. I'm starting to make assumptions. I don't want to make assumptions and be wrong. can you fit into... Nope, I guess I was wrong. There's no slots on the top. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can do something with this. What, I don't know offhand. This is not in the instruction booklet, this gun that turns into the bug. It is not in the instruction booklet, so I'm going to go over. It does transform, so I'll go ahead and transform it real quick. I think it's pretty cool that they included this thing. So we're going to go ahead and split this, and that'll unlock this piece here, unlock this piece here. So go ahead and move these down, and then we're going to take this whole piece here, and this goes like this. Actually, before we do that, bring this up like this, and then rotate it around, and then swing it underneath, and then bring this back down like so. Bring these out, and they will tab in. These tabs go into these holes here, so they tab in. Make sure you get the tabs in properly, and then split these up and pull these out. Do the same on the other side. Split these up, pull these out. This part here, which forms the handle of the gun, can rotate. So rotate it so this little knob is facing down, and then open these up, and there you have the Beetle mode. And it can open up. So let me go ahead and do this. Not open up. The wings can open, I should say. The shells can open, and you can have it flying or whatever. I don't know what this is from. I do know it's a very cool thing that they added, and I like it, but I don't know what episode it's from. So yeah, and not everybody. It seems not everybody's gotten this. It's supposed to be a first run thing, but I got this with like the second or third run of this figure. Actually got this. What day is today? Today is the 1st. Yesterday was the 31st. I got it on Wednesday, which was May 24th? 25th? I don't know. I was on Good Morning Cybertron when it came in, and I unboxed it on the Good Morning Cybertron podcast, which you should go check out. It's a fun podcast about Transformers and Transformer related stuff and stuff that isn't related to Transformers. So yeah, go ahead and check that out. They have my endorsement. Of course they have my endorsement. I'm one of the founding members of that podcast. I only say founding members. I was one of the. Yeah, I was one of 3 founding members. It was me, Scott, aka Blunghole, the Tapeworm of Unicron, and Josh, who went by the name of Dr. What, because they're also big Whovians. I'm not, but I don't knock them. It's probably really cool. I just never got into Doctor Who, but that's okay. That doesn't mean it's bad. That just means it's something I haven't gotten into yet, and maybe I will. There you got the gun. Let's see. Again, he comes with the giant swords. He also comes with the sword and gun for the small robot mode, and it's the same gun, it's just basically the same as the G1 figure has. So I thought that's pretty cool. I just wanted to show that off. He does not come with a roller like the G1 toy does, but I don't think he had the roller in the cartoon. And when he transformed excuse me, when he transformed into Minosaur, I don't believe roller was a part of the component. So yeah. Now I'm pretty sure a lot of you have already seen a bunch of these reviews, but this is my turn to do it, so I'm going to do it. Let me get my Spike out of my Knight Rider, which is not quite in scale, but it looks nice. Actually, it might be in scale. I don't know. That looks that looks nice. If I had the other part of it, you could pretend that, this is Goliath and this is Kit. For those of you who don't know, Goliath was Garth Knight's truck. Garth being the evil David Hasselhoff, who David Hasselhoff's character had plastic surgery unknowingly to make him look like Garth. You could always tell which one was the bad one because the bad one had the mustache. So these doors do open, and it looks like you can stick something in there, but you can't, unfortunately, stick Spike in there. He doesn't fit. He's too big. So, well, I don't know if why I'm saying unfortunately, because it's not like Menasor really has a driver. Menasor never had a driver. So, go ahead and put him away. And take a look at the truck mode. Now, this is what the inside of the first part of the trailer mode looks like. So you've got Motormaster's hands, his head, his chest. Basically, it flips around and becomes the body. This is what becomes the legs. And under here, right here, is where right here you can see Motormaster's crotch, and right above here, this is the part where it screws in. What I had to do is I had to put some crazy glue on the hole, and then put a little crazy glue on. There's like a little kind of cross piece like this that fits into a cross slot, and the cross slot has the ratchet. So when you're putting the crazy glue on, put it very, very lightly. Like you can get one with a brush, a crazy glue with a brush. Just a little layer on the top of the cross, and then stick it in carefully so that you don't accidentally get it on the rotating ratcheted waist part. You don't want to get that locked because you need to be able to rotate this thing around. So, but yeah. But all in all, he looks pretty nice. Let me go ahead and here is MP10 Year of the Horse. That's why he's got the gold chrome, and he's got Sparkplug with Wiki sitting in the thing. That was a Dr. Wu thing from a long time ago. But as you can see, they're in scale with each other. This is definitely Masterpiece scaled, and it looks pretty good. Now, like I said, my Motormaster or Capone came with that piece not attached, which meant that you could separate this box part from the truck mode. But if you were having an action scene, you can have it where like Capone gets sliced in half and then slides off, because it really was right. Like here's the waist, and then the body of Motormaster, and that was the part that was not together. Now here we have Fans Hobby, I believe it's Fans Hobby. Something Enemy, I forgot what his name is. Arch Enemy, aka their Black Convoy, which is what he was called in Japan, or Scourge. This character was never named Nemesis Prime, so Nemesis Prime didn't start until Transformers Armada. That's the first time you got a Nemesis Prime. But as he is a Black Optimus repaint, and this kind of looks like a Black Optimus repaint, I just felt like I would show you. Not quite in scale. This guy is actually a bit too big. But in robot mode, it serves its purpose. It looks nice. So, and let's go ahead with one more comparison. We're going to go with a regular G1 car. Not a G1 car. A regular Masterpiece car. And that looks pretty good. I think the Stunticons that come with him are a little bit too big in vehicle mode, but I think they scale well in robot mode. Now, I don't have any of those Stunticons yet, but now that I've got him, I gotta get the other ones. So, but it scales pretty well. I think that looks pretty good. Let's yeah, I think that looks really, really well, even though that's only half. Let's move this back. So there. I think that looks really well. So this way you don't see that there's like an empty, and you know, he can fit in there. I'm just kidding. What you do? It's not made to carry anything. Now I have other DX9 figures, but I'm not transforming them into their alt modes because, frankly, none of that really shows off the scale of this unless you have those DX9 figures. And I don't know if anybody really does, but I'll show them off in robot mode just to show you how they look together. So let's go ahead and transform them. I'm going to do my best. I've transformed him a few times. This will be the first time that I transform him to robot mode with him attached. Up until just before I transformed him this last time into vehicle mode, I did not have the pieces attached. They were separate, so I would transform the truck mode first and then the box mode second. Sorry I keep hitting the camera. It's just the way. Let me just move this over for now. I can move this over this way. I'm not hitting it too much, but let's see. Zoom out a little bit. Okay. So what we're gonna do now? First thing you do is push down the stacks. Bring these out. Get them out the way, and then unpeg these up here, and these unpeg up here. Just kind of almost like exploding him. And then what are we going to do next? We're going to come down here and unpeg everything that's down here. So this pegs into here. This pegs into there. So fold that down. Close that. We'll leave that for now. Do the same thing on the other side. Separate it. Fold that down. Close that. Leave that for now. These bits fall in, go in that way. So far the crazy glue and screw has worked. So if your your Motormaster, whatever, comes separated instead of being together for whatever reason, you can again, and it's the screw hole that's stripped, a little crazy glue in the hole, and then a little crazy glue on the little crossing, and then screwing it in will get it to be stable. I'm still trying to be gentle with it because I don't want to, you know, accidentally undo anything. So these bits here kind of fold like this. Fold that down and then turn it in. Okay, and we'll separate all of this right here. This separates. Okay, this separates. So go ahead and open this up, and then let's see. Can I open you up further? I feel like I should be able to. Okay, and then all of this comes up like so. And this is like, again, these are the legs. So they come up, and these pieces plug in right there. Okay, then you're gonna take this piece. Let's do it on this side. And this is where it becomes a little unwieldy, especially since I'm doing it on camera. So this is going to go. This is going to flip in like this. It flips in like this. And this is going to flip all the way around and go in here. And then this goes in here like that. So you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Maybe don't move the smokestacks all the way out just yet. And this will give you clearance so you can fold this in. Bring this around. Fold this. Okay. Smokestacks to the side. Smokestacks to the side. Alright. And then close this up. Pegs in there. Okay. So you should have this. And I don't know why my computer is making so much noise all of a sudden. Hopefully you don't hear it too much. Shut up, computer. So then we're going to take this piece here, and it slides up. If you look, it's the bumper piece, and this back piece slides up like so. And that will give you clearance to flip these. Oh, well, before you do that, I keep forgetting about this part. This is new to me. What the? Let's see. This part. Give me a second. It does. That goes up, and then these are supposed to flip up, but I don't like the way that feels. It pegs into the side, so these flip up a little bit so that you can. Don't plug these in just yet. That's where I made the mistake. So you want to lift them up so that they lift up the front of the truck so it looks like this. Flip it around. Flip this in on itself, which I don't like the way that feels. And then close this back up. There we go. So that looks like that, so that you don't have the truck front anymore. And then you will flip this all the way out. That forms the front of the truck. Then you will fold the wheel in and flip this piece all the way around the cover. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So this comes up. Flip it around. Flip this in. It folds in on itself like so. Close this back up and bring this piece around to the front. Around to the front. Fold that in. Fold this over. And now you got the front of the foot done, and then you can go ahead and collapse this back now. And then you're going to take these pieces here, and you're going to open these. Rotate them around. Push it back. And then this comes down and collapses like so. And the wheel, like if you look here, see that little nub in here? You're going to put the wheel over it and then push it up so it locks in. And that makes the foot. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Open that, flip it around. Now you don't have to. Honestly, you can leave it the way you want it. If you leave it this way, you don't have like a bunch of wheels at the bottom. Maybe you might like that look better. That's up to you. I don't think this little wheel thing was necessary. Let's actually leave that one for now. We'll fix it later, but we're going to leave it for now and see how that looks. So close that up. Okay, and now we can work on the top half. And this is why it's scary, because this little thing here, this wouldn't be so scary if that screw in there was a bigger screw, but it's not. Let me see if I can show it to you. It is that little screw there where it's flat, and the actual circumference of the shaft of the screw that goes in, it's less than that. The groove there for you to turn the screw. It is ridiculously small. So let's go ahead and we're gonna open this up like this, and we need to, let's see, I'm trying to remember how this goes, because there we go, that folds over like that, and then you're gonna take these bits here. I don't know how other YouTubers have done this. Hopefully you can see this okay. I apologize. I know it's gray on white. So separate this piece. Just fold it down. And separate that piece from there. And we'll just leave that there for now. You're going to come over here, flip this piece up, and back onto this piece. And then you're going to take this and unpeg it from here. Unpeg that, but don't flip it over on itself. Just unpeg it, and then you're going to rotate this out like so. And then this piece rotates in like this. Then you're going to close that, and then close that, and it'll peg into the peg there. And that is basically one arm done. We're going to do the other arm too, and then we're going to work on the body. So we got to separate all of this. We'll just get that out the way for now. And then you're going to take this panel here. This panel flips up like so. Okay, and then this panel here unpegs. Just unpeg it a little bit. Fold out the arm. Fold the hand out if you haven't already done it. Close that back on. Fold this over and peg it in there. And that is the other arm done. And then we're going to work on the back. So I'm going to raise this up. So you should have everything like this. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold this. Move this arm out the way. Fold this like this. Fold this like so. And then fold this over. And you'll see these two pegs here go into these holes right here. So that's one done. And then fold that like this. And then this folds up. So that's one side done. So again, collapse this like that. Turn it this way. Plug these two tabs into those two holes. And then fold this like this. And again, there's actually two holes here that go in, two tabs that go into these holes or pegs. So make sure those are done. Flip this up, and then this part I don't care for. It's fine going in, but you're gonna put these in, push that in right there, and that holds the head. Now getting it out is scary because you have to pull the head to get it out, and I don't like that. I feel it because it's really tight. So, but that's that done, and there you have Zombie Menasor. Now, let me just straighten him up a little bit so he doesn't look so crazy. Okay. So there we have, not Menasor, Motormaster, sorry. Motormaster. And I think he looks pretty good. I like him. Now, like I said, you can leave it with the gas tanks like this if you don't want to have the extra wheels, or you can have the extra wheels. I guess it was like that in the cartoon or something. It doesn't matter to me which way. I'm good either or. It was unnecessary though. And another thing that I'm not the overly craziest about is these toe bits. Honestly, I wish this would have transformed where just this would have just stayed the front of the truck without a little bit of toe sticking out. I don't think that was necessary. And then all this folded up, because now he has the front of the truck, but there's still more of the front of the truck. I mean, there's clearly windshields right on his shin bones or shin area. But, I mean, those are just really little nitpicks. Otherwise, he is really, really nice. Actually, let me just bring him in so we can get a look at his head. It is Motormastery. Actually, it kind of looks almost like a Megatron, a humanized Megatron head in a box. But that's kind of Motormaster. So, if you pull this up, you get a neck joint where you can look up and down. It's really loose. So, yeah. There is an ab crunch, but it's not ratcheted. It just leans forward, leans back, leans forward, leans back. And because his feet are so, the base of his feet are so wide, he doesn't fall down. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. He has nice little details reminiscent of the G1 cartoon, I believe. I'm saying that, but yeah, I really don't remember. So if I can find pictures, I will, do my picture thing. Arms are ratcheted, and they rotate there. They rotate here, and they rotate. The actual joint is here. If you use this joint, his arm stays out. If you use this joint, which is, I think, a transformational joint, it doesn't really do very much. So, and then if you use both, well, there you go. You can get him to have his hands all the way up. Again, like I said, it's ratcheted here. He has a bicep swivel, and he gets a little less than 90 degrees. Now, some people have an issue. Oh my gosh, that is so bright. Hold on. There we go. Some people have an issue with his elbow not folding more, and yeah, that kind of sucks, but honestly, he still does great poses without that. He's got the typewriter fingers with the index finger being independent. That's great for guns, but everything else, it's kind of eh. And his thumb moves, I do appreciate that because it helps getting the weapons in and out so much easier. And he does have he can do that for whatever reason. I mean, I think it's part of the transformation, but you know, hey, you can do the come here. So there's that. He's got the ab crunch, but it doesn't really sound like a crunch. It's very loose. It's just, I mean, you can get it there, but anything more than it goes all the way down. He has a ratcheted swivel at the waist. His crotch flap moves up, so you can get a kick all the way like that, which is not bad at all. It goes back about that far, which again, not bad. And then it goes out about that much. Again, he's a giant truck dude who turns into the body of a robot. Well, he doesn't anymore, but he did. So he didn't need all that articulation anyway. Knees bend that far. That is a great range. There is a thigh swivel, and that's it. There's no other swivels. His feet bend like this, and let's see, it doesn't pivot up and down. It goes just like this, but if you lay this down, you can rock it back a little bit if you needed to, but don't know why you would need that. And that's about it. He can get into some pretty decent poses. Let me hold his weapons pretty good too. I haven't figured out where you can peg this into, aside from in his hands. There's no place for him to hold it other than in his hands. I guess maybe you can, no. He doesn't have a peg hole where you can hang the gun like on his back or something. But you can put the sword on his back if you want to, using, there's little slots underneath these pegs, and you can actually do that. I said you can do that, and it stays on there pretty good. So he doesn't have to be holding the blade. If you don't want him to, you can just be holding this. Unfortunately, his arms don't... Well, actually, never mind. I was going to say you couldn't get him to dual wield the rifle, but you can get him to dual wield the rifle. And you can get him into various poses. You can actually even get him into sort of a walk-in pose because his base is so... His foot base is so big that you can do that and he will be pretty stable. So there's that. Now, I'm pretty sure he does fit into the Menasor mode body part somehow. I don't know how yet. And it's not even necessary. I actually like the fact that you get almost a complete Menasor, and you don't need a complete Motormaster. Actually, let's leave him out. A complete Motormaster, so you don't have to just trying to get him to stand it because I almost forgot to do the size comparisons. So you can have your Motormaster and your Menasor and have them separate. So here he is with a Carbot. Let's move this back a little bit. Masterpiece Carbot. He's a bit tall. Oh, actually, the Carbot's is small. I always thought that was not a great scale. Here he is with... Let's move you over. here he is with MP10, and I think that's a fairly good scale. I think that's a fairly good scale, honestly. Let's see, do we have anybody else? So we're gonna jump on to the other DX9 figures I have. So we have Chigurh, who is almost the same height as he is. Let's see, we also have, I was calling him Gewalt or Gewalt, but forgetting that word is probably German. So if it's German, it would be Gewalt. So there we go with Gewalt next to him, and he looks, I think that's a good scale. I like, because Gewalt is taller than I think he should be as far as if we were going in cartoon scale. But I like that him and Motormaster are the same height. Here he is with DX9's Mitron, and he is actually a little taller than Mitron, but if you compress the head, they're about the same height. And here we go with DX9's Tyrant. And now we always say Tyrant because that's what we see, but I was looking at the box. I have the box on my wall, actually. And whoever spelt Tyrant on the box didn't spell Tyrant. They spelled Tyrant. T-Y-A-R-N-T instead of T-Y-R-A-N-T. See? Tyrant. T-Y-A-R-N-T. I think this person got confused between the A and the R because they do kind of look the same except for this little notch. And it's all over the whole box. See? Tyrant. And I think even the instruction booklet says it. If I can figure out where I put it. Tyrant. So, yeah. And because of the way the wording, the letters are, it's real easy to miss that. But I looked and I'm like, that is not Tyrant. That's Tyrant. So here's Tyrant. And they look great together. I mean, this guy looks good. I like him. I like him. I mean, where did I put the other guys? There we go. I think he fits in well with Masterpiece aesthetic, especially the current one where it's not quite as complicated looking as some of the other ones, as detail. Actually, it's kind of a mix in the middle. It's perfect. I think it's perfect. I like it. The face kind of reminds me of the comic books where they would draw the Transformers, and for whatever reason, when it got to the hands and the faces, instead of drawing them angular and robotic looking, they actually looked like discolored humans, humanoid faces. They were really smooth. And that's kind of what he looks like. Woo! That's kind of what he looks like to me. So, yeah. And let's see, just for the sake of, here he is next to a deluxe toy. Not even a current deluxe toy. This is Power of the Prime. So this one's a little taller than the other ones. Before I forget, though, actually, I forgot to do comparison with the G1 one. So give me a second. I got to get it transformed. You know how hard that is. Actually, there we go. Okay, and here we go. So there he is with his G1 toy, and mine's leans a little bit, but yeah, birth. Both have their purple faces. He's got painted lavender eyes, like it's a lavender face. He has no painted eyes. And I guess these are meant to replicate these boob sets. And he even has the little feet So, yeah. So we're going to move him out of the way. It is time for the big one. Now, normally everybody saves, like I'll show off the combiner part last. But one, I got this first. Two, this doesn't really need the other bits to transform into Menasor. It's Menasor, like in the cartoon, where the car bits just kind of fly onto him and become like more like armor instead of actual limbs. So yeah, let's see if I can remember how to do this off the bat. Okay, so go ahead and pull the wheels here down. We're just gonna fold them over, get that out of the way. Let's see what else we're gonna do. Flip those up, flip you up. So we've got that out the way, and we can go ahead and get these bits here. Okay, and then fold these bits here, and then bring this all the way down. And we'll actually bring this around. And they plug, well, just bring them around, but don't plug them in just yet. We'll worry about that in a little bit. So let's see, what else are we going to do? Okay, bring these up like so. These bits fold out, come out to the side like so. Oh, this is going to be a bit of a pain. So, flip these out. And we're going to split these bits just enough so we can move this out like this so we can pop these up. You need to pop these up, otherwise you're not going to be able to transform what become Menasors like. So pop them up. Whew. And then that lets you slide these bits down, and then you're going to put these back in, and these really are what locks the legs into place. Okay, so then we're going to take these bits, spread them out like so, and then these are scary, tight. They are on super strong ratchets. Double check that your legs are on correctly. When I got this leg was actually, the hip part was actually reversed, and I couldn't get it to come down like it was supposed to, and I almost broke it. And I think that might have been what happened with Emgo with his, because these are scary tight, so you have to put a lot, I don't like this part, a lot of force on this to get these legs to get where they're supposed to, go. Okay. This one here is scaring me. And these pieces ratchet out together. There we go. Almost. One more click. There we go. Oh. Whew. Okay. Then you're gonna rotate the legs up here. You're gonna rotate these so that these bits are facing in. So, scary. So that this looks like this. Whew. Then you're gonna rotate this around and plug these together. This comes up like that, and then this folds around. This folds around. This does fold around and in. Turn it around. Okay, so we're gonna fold that part in first. Then plug the feet together. Right? Plug the feet together. Come on. Together. Okay. Okay, plug the feet together. Rotate it around like this, and then this flips up to form the toes. So now, that was actually, I think, the hardest part was the legs. And he is already pretty tall. He is about the height of Triptychon. I'll go ahead and flip these open. And let's see, what else do we need to do? Do we need to do anything else there? Yeah, actually, flip these little panels over here. Sorry, I know that's loud. Flip these panels out. There we go. And we will go ahead and these bits here, this section right here, you have to unpeg from here and come on, unpeg. I'll actually flip this piece up first. There you go. Alright, now unpeg and pull that out. Okay. Unpeg. See, there's that piece right there goes into that indentation there. So you have to unpeg and wiggle it out. There we go. And then these bits will unpeg and all of that flattens out. So it looks like that. Okay. So we're going to, what are we going to do? We're going to flip these pieces up for now. And then this piece accordions forward and plugs in right there. And then we're going to take these bits here and rotate them around like so. And then this comes down to form the arm, and then this comes out, and that's your fist. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Sorry about the noise again. So flip this part around. Get that down and out of the way, and that flips out. Form the other hand. Okay, so plug that in like so, and then these bits on the side go like this and plug in on both sides, and then underneath these will peg into here. See, these little holes here will peg into these pegs there. So you're going to do that, and that kind of locks that stuff in. We'll do it on the other side. Hard to show you. Bring these down and push them in. There we go. And then these bits here come up. There are two peg holes here, and they go into these slots here. So you're going to do that, and that's going to help lock the arm bits. Actually, don't usually have them lying down when I do this. So okay, and then that folds over. Take that out. There we go. Plug in. Fold this here. Fold the doors down like that. Do that, and we've got Menosaur. Give me a second to get him squared away properly. Also, make sure that you've got these bits out, otherwise it's gonna look dumb. Okay. The slides are still too spread. Okay. Oh, there we go. Make sure you do the same thing on the back. These come out. Okay. Woo. Okay. So, I'm gonna have to push this guy back. There we go. So you can see, here's a big boy. Oh my gosh, is he a big boy? He's a very, very big, tall boy. And he looks, even with half of his arms missing, he doesn't look bad. I heard that you can take the X-Transbots, Limbots, and plug them on his arms. I am not going to spend that much money because I don't care about the other Menosaurs. This is my Menosaur. Okay. Now I'm going to have to stand up. Oof. So, there we go. Give me a second. Get my chair out the way. Alrighty, so there we have Menosaur. Let me see if I can move this back a little bit. So there we have all of Menosaur. Alrighty, here we got the big boy, Menosaur. And he is huge. He is gigantic. So let me get... Here he is next to Motormaster. Let's get MP Optimus. Let's see. A regular MP Carbot. And if I'm in the video, I apologize. There's nothing I can do about it. Gavolt. Chigurh. Mitron. Actually, I guess I can move Mitron out. There is enough space on that thing. There we go. Galvatron or Tyrant. And if you want to see what he looks like compared to a current deluxe figure, here is Sideswipe. He is gigantic. Give me a minute. I'm gonna get what is his name? The big guy, the first gigantic guy. Metroplex. Let me get Metroplex down. After dealing with this dude. Okay. There. He goes next to Metroplex. So he's smaller than Metroplex, but he is still humongous. Also, here's his sword. I'll put it in his hand in a second. But I just wanted to show off how big this bot really is. This bot is gigantic. He is gigantic, gigundo, jaglundo, jabroni, casploni, whatever you want to call it. He is that. Okay. So I like that, unlike other Menosaurs, most other Menosaurs, this Menosaur doesn't need to have the whole team combined in order to make him. He can make the, you know. So I look at it this way. I look at it like he and Motormaster are two separate entities that rely on each other, and when he combines with the Decepticons, he gets power upgrade. Because, I mean, that's the only way to really look at this, rather than as a whole unit that becomes one figure. It's more of, it's one figure who gets armor and power boost, and I can dig that. I can dig that a lot. Okay, sword, gun, and don't forget the roller. Okay, so there he is with the G1. I can get the G1 to stand. There we go. He's so tiny. He is so tiny. Okay, now the sword plugs into the hand via those two beep boops. So let's get that out of the way. Find the beep boops. I have to move them closer so I can find the beep boops. Okay, there's one beep boop. And then this one only has one beep and no boop. So it doesn't, I think this sword plugs in a lot better. A lot more secure. It also doesn't help that the part that has the pin swivels. Or the peg, whatever, it swivels. So this kind of moves around a little bit. Okay, got that. Okay, and get you around. So, there he is. I'm going to bring him in closer in just a second, but just wanted to show you what he looked like with his weapons. I'm not a big fan of the gun, only because it looks kind of weird. It should just look like a bigger version of Motormaster's gun. And I'm pretty sure you can plug in Motormaster's gun in his hand, but then it would just be really too tiny. But otherwise, I think it looks pretty good, and I can just imagine the other bits on here. And actually, I was thinking of just, honestly, because I like Legos, I was thinking of getting some Legos and building the bits to fill him out until I can get all the bits. And then even then, depending on how well it looks, I may keep the Lego bits on there and keep the Decepticons separate on a separate shelf, you know, so this way I have the best of both worlds. Whew, okay. So, let's bring him in. Sorry if I'm showing some pit here. I can't help it. Woo, no! Okay. Alrighty, let's take the weapons off. Come on, let's get weapons off. We don't need them. Okay, and let's see if I can. Let's see, so we can get. Trying to do this so that my hands aren't in the way, so we can get an approximation. You can see his eyes are red, and his eyes aren't red, but they are. He's got a light up feature. Let's turn this light off, and let's turn these off. Okay. Hopefully it's dark enough where we can see it. If you flip the switch, there we go. Okay. Okay, you can see he's got the red eyes, no red eyes, red eyes, no red eyes. So, alright, let's turn the light back on. That's too much. Let's turn these lights back on. Let's see. There we go. That's better. Okay. Let's bring this up so you can see his antenna wiggle. If you pull his head up a little bit, you can get him to look down. You can look up, and there we go. And yeah, like I said, the eyes light up, and that's pretty cool. Can move him back some. Hey, ratcheted arms, and they go up and down at 2 points. Granted, you are probably going to want, if you need to get his arms to go out, you want this, and it'll go all the way up. I'm not going to make it go all the way up, but you can do that. Heavy ratchets. Let's see. Rotation at the upper elbow. Ratcheted bend on both elbows. And that's a nice little thingy there. His hands, trying to be out of the way. His hands, can we see the hands? We can't see the hands. Sorry. His hands rotate here. They are on ball joints. So, big ball joints actually. So you get a lot of range. His thumb bends in 2 different places. His fingers bend in one. You got the knuckle and you got 2 pinned, which you can, do the Spider-Man look if you want to. And because his fingers are on ball joints, they splay out just a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit. So, and I think you can rotate the fingers around. No, not really. So, there's that. He is on a strong ratchet there. There is no waist crunch, ab crunch. His flap gets out the way. And his legs go that far forward. That's actually crazy. Let's see. And only that far back. Then he's got the ratchet, which goes all the way out. I'm not going to do it, but believe me, he can do the full Van Damme splits. His leg does 90 degrees. And his feet don't do anything. They just have well, I shouldn't say that. He has a tilt, a side-to-side tilt, and as long as his feet are flat, he can go in a little bit. But yeah. Whew. So he's not always at an A stance. That's because I can't get that last. See if I can get that last start, because I'm not turning him back into the vehicle mode for a very long time. Whew. Woo-hoo. I don't like that. That is so... Okay, there we go. Oh, now he's the straight up and downs. Okay. Oh, there we go. So, let's push this back. Sorry again, I'll try to edit that out if I remember. But, yeah. There we go. So there we have the Menasor. And he looks good. Even incomplete, he looks pretty darn good. I can't wait to get the other bits to put on him. I think that's everything I needed to mention about him. He's just awesome. And considering that you get this giant framework, which can look impressive on your shelf just as is, and you get a robot that can go on your masterpiece shelf, so it's like you're getting 2 for the price of 1. And for the price that it is, I think it's a really great deal. It looks great. It feels great. The only thing that I have a gripe with, if I'm honest, aside from the fact that my Motormaster came in 2 pieces instead of 1, is that the ratchets are ridiculously tight. I mean, it makes sense because this thing is heavy, And I mean, you've seen how some of the other but some of the other Titan bosses like the Hasbro's put out that didn't have really strong ratchets, how well they fared, toppling over all the time, and looking at Metroplex and even Fort Max to a degree, they tightened him up a bit, but he was still an issue to stand. This guy, once you got everything where it's supposed to be, not an issue to stand at all. And he is fairly posable for such a big thing. It's just that it is a lot of work to get him into the poses because he's so tight. So, like I said, MGO had an issue where his was so tight he ended up breaking it. But I don't know if it was, I think it was a combination of it being tight and maybe that the piece that he broke maybe was not transformed correctly initially. I don't know. Anyway, that said, I'm Islip. I love this figure so much. I can't even tell you. This is probably my favorite figure right now. And I can't wait to see what the rest of it is going to look like. Okay, so that's it. I'm Islip. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and ciao.